Welcome to the Fitness Entrepreneur Expert Coaching Series. Today I am joined by one of the UK's leading semi-private gym owners. And guess what? He's in his early 20s, which is amazing because he's crushing 6 figures a month with 2 facilities. And he's recently just adopted the high ticket model of pricing and offers for his gym. And this is something that's completely foreign and unheard of in the semi-private world because everybody's charging low-cost trials, low-cost monthly backends, and quite frankly, what they don't realize is that they're costing themselves an absolute fortune and holding themselves back from growing the business and building the life that they want. And you're going to hear all about it inside this coaching call. Now, before I get into this, I would love you to just picture your business right now. And I want you to run it and compare it to this model. And I do this in every single expert coaching video series because this is the thinking behind everything that I'm giving Luke on how to grow and develop and scale his business and build the life that he wants. You must master this model. When you look at this model, it actually allows you to look at the challenges in your business and make better decisions. And ultimately, you get what you focus on. If you don't know what to focus on, then you're not going to grow. It's as simple as that. So the reason why you set up a business was really simple. You want to live life on your own terms, and you can only do that when you achieve 3 things. You make a massive impact with your market and build an incredible reputation. Number 2, you make consistent profit from those customers and use it to fuel your lifestyle and do the things that you want, but you also use it to reinvest back into the business to grow it. And ultimately, you achieve real freedom with your business. It makes money without you, and essentially team members make decisions without you needing to be there. Now, if you don't have a team or you think that might sound really complex, that's at the very early stages because it's foreign to you. If you're already running a business and it's over 10K per month, you're going to be running into challenges where the business has hit a ceiling, it's hit a plateau. And in order to grow it, you've got to unlearn and you've got to relearn new skills, new beliefs, and new strategy. So there's 3 things that allow you to achieve this. 1, powerful marketing that takes you from a nobody to an authority. 2, predictable sales, that's with the right sales processes and offers. And 3 is world-class delivery that takes you from being hands-on all the time to hands-off. These are all the areas that you need to really dial in. And if you haven't got these areas dialed in, then you're not going to grow. So I'd love you to look at your business right now and ask yourself, in what area are you struggling the most? Is it marketing? Are you not being seen? Is it sales, i.e. you're just not making enough profit? Or 3, is it world-class delivery? You don't have the right team, clients are leaving, and it just feels like you're trapped. Once you've done that, I then want you to look at the marketing. If it's a marketing problem that you're going to be invisible, nobody's going to know you. So it's important that you're seen. It's important that you're heard. If you have a sales problem, then you're going to go broke or you're going to make really thin margins, and running the business is just going to feel like an anxiety attack 24/7. Number 3, if you haven't got the delivery sorted, you're going to feel trapped. And ultimately, all together, if you look at all these different areas that make up marketing, sales, and delivery, these are the areas that you need to master. So I want you to go through and figure out what's good, what's bad, what's okay in your semi-private gym or your coaching business for that matter. And I really want you to write down all the stuff that sucks the most. And that is your focus over the next 90 days. And if you want help unlocking what to do to bring those areas up to good, healthy, and green, then click the link below this video to speak with our client relations team. We are the best in the world at helping fitness business owners unlock their challenges and create growth and scale, and most importantly, a life that they dreamed of when they first decided to become an entrepreneur. Anyway, let's get stuck in, get a pen and paper ready, and we're going to get into Luke's world and help him solve his biggest problem with the semi-private gyms. Guys, I'm here with an incredible semi-private gym owner, Mr. Luke Turner. Luke, how are you, my friend?
Good, man.
I am going to coach Luke through his biggest challenge in business right now. But before we get into that, Luke, tell us about your gyms, tell us what kind of numbers you're doing, and then tell us what's your biggest challenge, and we'll work through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my name's Luke Turner. I own a gym in South London called T2 Fit. We're I believe we're the UK's leading small group personal training gym. We work with everyday people who want to move well. They want to be coached every single time they come through our doors. They want to get healthier, fitter and stronger and live a more fulfilling life. So my question to you is, how do we ensure that the 4 memberships we have are priced accordingly to what the individual wants? So for example, we have a ticket starting from £150 a month all the way up to 400.
And just let me clarify, the 150 is, I'm assuming, a trial. The high-end price point, the 450, is for multiple sessions a week, but the client gets to choose how many sessions they want based on the membership, and they're priced differently. Is that how it's set up?
Exactly that.
All right, so the first problem with that is that you are giving the client way too many options. Do you remember whenever you were a personal trainer?
Yeah.
And a client was to come to you and say, hey, I really want to lose weight, X, Y, and Z. how much is it? And you were to say X amount per session. Then the next question that would follow up would be, okay, how many sessions do I need? And there was a part of your brain that went, well, you actually really need like 3 to 4 to make this really work. I don't want to sound too salesy, so I'm just going to tell you, look, you can choose as much as you want, but anywhere up to 3 or 4. And then typically what would happen is that you would give the power to them and they would make the decision for themselves. And some would take 3 to 4, some would take 1, some would take 2. And you ended up with these clients with different commitments. And you fully knew that the client that made the most consistent, concrete effort and commitment was the one that was going to win and the one that was going to be the best transformation. So when you give people way too many options and you let them choose, and the only thing that they get to choose on is price point, what you actually do is actually give them the opportunity to derail themselves. You give them the opportunity to ruin their results, because if I come to your gym only once a week or twice a week, I'm really not going to get to my results fast. If I come 3 to 4 times a week, I'm much more likely to win. So you actually want to sell them the solution and the very thing that you need. And if you simplify it into one option, they have no other thing to choose. And it's very simple and very clear for them. So you simplify the options and give them one main offer to choose. Now that offer can be priced differently with an upfront payment, a split payment, a payment plan, or even a year upfront if they want to go all in, but it is a deviation of the same thing. And the reason why that's important is, 1, it simplifies your sales process. Number 2, it simplifies your delivery, because you're not worrying about what client's doing 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, and you're trying to juggle all that stuff. And also the client isn't coming into the gym with the idea and concept of, I can only train twice a week. And if they're not seeing results quick enough, what's the first thing that they're going to blame? So if you have set up your gym in a way where it has one core offer with one core set of deliverables that you know are the peak deliverables that will facilitate the result, you actually are serving the client and making everything in your business much more simple. And one of the biggest mistakes that gym owners have is that they run these low-cost trials. They run multiple price memberships for multiple different options, and it creates confusion, but it also kills profitability. It kills profitability, first of all, on the trial basis, where you're offering them a trial when they really don't need a trial. Your marketing on social media with your advertising should be doing all the talking about what you can do for people, how it can help them, and examples of previous stories and case studies of people that have come in and won big. So you want to create the demand outside the business, that when people do come in, the sales process is relatively easy. They're pre-sold on your content. The idea of a trial is already entertaining their mind that you might not like it. Whereas you could just simply go, hey, if you don't like it, you can leave at any time. And that's called creating buyer safety. So why sell them into something that they are being told, like, hey, this is a trial, you get to figure it out, and you give them all the power, versus selling them into the very simple solution that you know is going to help them with the right amount of deliverables, and telling them, hey, if you don't like it, you can leave at any time. And that puts a lot of buyer safety into their mind and gives them the confidence to go ahead with a purchase. But when you actually look at the way a gym gets clients and the whole low-cost trial thing into back-end membership, the problem with that is that it doesn't take into account the cost it takes to acquire a customer. It doesn't take into account the cost to fulfill a customer, onboard a customer, staff, bricks and mortar, rates and rents, electricity, heating, gas, all that kind of stuff. So when you look at the effort that goes into selling somebody into a trial at a very low price point, and the cost to actually acquire that customer and fulfill, you don't make any money over that period of a month. So the business is technically at risk. Now, if I contrast that with the fact that you then are opening them up into 3 or 4 different options, it's just very confusing. Versus if I look at what online coaches are doing, and this is a really important lesson for every semi-private owner to really learn from, because 1, the ironic thing is you get clients from the internet just like online coaches. 2, if anything, you actually provide way more value than an online coach. An online coach doesn't get to call their client out when they're not there. They don't get to high five their client. They don't get to correct a client if their form is incorrect. So I would argue that you guys provide a lot more value, but you're charging way less than online coaches. And it's a common fact in the fitness industry that online coaches, since lockdown, even before lockdown, are making a lot more profit and a lot more money than gym owners, despite the fact that they're not actually touching or high-fiving or seeing the clients in person. So you've got to ask, how can online coaches charge it when we don't? And the answer is one, they put more effort into their organic marketing. Two, they put more effort into their sales process. But most importantly, they have one core offer that is a clear set of deliverables that they know are going to get a client result, rather than giving the client the option of 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, and putting it into the hands of the client that doesn't actually know what they need to get the result that they want, right? So you know as well as I do, frequent exposure to exercise, frequent exposure to accountability leads to growth. And if I'm only coming in twice a week compared to 4 times a week, there's going to be a massive difference in results, all right? So the challenge is when you have that low-cost trial or that low-cost monthly membership that you sell somebody directly into, you're not making profit for the first 1, 2, or 3 months, depending on how cheap you are. Whereas if you look at what it was like when you got paid up front, when you were personal training, you got paid for 10 sessions at a time, 20 sessions at a time, a year at a time, whatever it may be, you were really flush, you were really profitable. Not only is it great for your psychology, it's great for the business bank account because you end up with more profit. And the way that we have been coaching online coaches for such a long period of time, and it has been proven, it has been validated, is that they're charging for the result, they're charging for the transformation, and that is over a 90-day block window, right? So over these 90 days, we're going to do a lot of work to understand your body, understand your movement patterns, but really drive a massive result. And over this 90-day period, this is like our activation period, whereby we're really going to get to know you. After that, you're going to be down in this amount of weight, you're going to have that amount of strength. You can do a lot in 90 days. But after that, you're going to want to continue to make progress, and you're going to want to have us as an insurance policy. And I always say to people, there's home, work, gym. Once somebody comes to a gym and they get a result, they will want to stay there because they don't want to go backwards. You don't just go to the gym for 90 days and then all of a sudden quit. So get the idea of it feels very transformation-y out of your system, because if they transform over that 90 days, people want a sprint. They want a quick access to a goal, a result. The period after that 90 days, whenever you sell them in, is actually the insurance policy that allows them to continue to grow, continue to improve, and continue to learn, right? And strengthen and make progress. So online coaches have done very well in charging for that initial 90-day block, framed as an activation period. And then the after period is the insurance period. Now, how can online coaches charge considerably more? And you're charging $197 or whatever it is. The online coaches at the basic level are charging $1,000 for 90 days. How can they collect that up front when you can't, right? And that is a real question that every gym owner really needs to ask. Would your business be in a better position if you were able to collect $1,000 up front versus a low-cost trial? Of course it would be in a better position. And that is something that you have to understand. And the biggest limiting factor and constraint behind that is going to be, one, the strength of your marketing and how well your image is portrayed online for your gym. Most gym owners just rely on ads and they don't have strong organic, which means that people can't find out about them for free unless they're targeted by an ad. Number two is sales skills and ability. And it's kind of strange when you're trying to learn objection handling to $200 or 150 trial or 97 trial, when you really should be embracing sales to handle like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K. And if you think about it, the people that tell you that they can't afford to pay a K for 90 days will tell you on a £1,000 iPhone, they'll spend exactly the same amount of money on a night out when you take into account drinks, travel, taxis, accommodation, address, all that kind of stuff. People can afford this stuff. And I just really feel that gym owners massively complicate their service by providing way too many options. And there's actually research on this where I think it was a research between, it was actually a jam experiment where there was one stall with one selection of jam versus another stall with 15 different selections of jam. I think it was that. But the decision to choose which jam to have was something like 9 minutes versus instant. So if you narrow the options, create it with heavy marketing and marketing that's very aligned with what your customers want, then they've no other option but to go in, particularly whenever the sales skills match the marketing skills. And any coach is committed to their craft and making sure that they've got the best possible service. But the ability to capture that amount of cash up front really puts a business in a profitable position. Yes, you are technically getting paid in advance. That doesn't matter. right? Your MRR may go down when you close those people in, but the real secret is making your gym and your service that good that once people are out the other end of the 90 days that they don't want to leave. If I lose 10 pounds of body fat, I'm not going to want to suddenly stop training. So you've got to think about how can we make sure that the culture inside the gym, the equipment inside the gym, the programming inside the gym is designed to create and extend future continuously, whereby people position us as the third most important thing in their life. Home, work, gym. And that the gym ties into every single thing that I do. If I look better, I'm going to feel better about everything that I do. And really building a culture around that, because people can't just come in, do a transformation and leave. They will need to stay there. So big takeaways are really, really simple. One, gym owners can be charging way more. If you look at the market and the evidence of, well, is there anybody else charging this kind of money? Yeah, online coaches that don't see people, don't train people, are charging 10 times what you're charging. Number two, the low-cost trial model straight into monthly back end is not serving the gym. It's actually costing the gym money. Three is simplifying options to create one offer. And yes, you can create different payment options for that offer. One upfront, a split pay over a period of 30 days or 45 days if you want. A payment plan where you essentially look at splitting it up over maybe 6-month payments and then into the normal 6 months back end. A year up front, there'll be some clients that want to, buy straight away or be fast buyers, as I call them. But you can say, hey, have you ever considered being in shape year round? Have you ever been in shape, 12 months of the year? Would you like to be? I noticed that you just went instantly for that. Listen, we do have an offer where it's 12 months membership. You'll be in shape in every season. You'll be in shape all the time. And it's maybe a slight discount on, what the upfront or what the 12 months would look like. But you got to create those payment options to create flexibility and lower the bar for the client. And really just having the belief behind it, because, online coaches are doing it and all clients come from the same place now. It's the internet. You use social media to develop an awareness around your brand and your business and what you do for people. And ultimately people are going to respond to that. They're going to get in touch online. You might get the odd walk-in, but regardless, what you're selling is far more valuable than what you're currently charging. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of semi-private owners really have to realize, is that you can't sustain a business if it's not making profit. And I just see so many semi-private gym owners not making enough profit, putting themselves in a risky position. They carry a lot of risk with equipment, commercial leases, and I just don't think that they have really embraced high ticket sales when everyone else around them is doing it. Yet they're the ones that are taking the biggest risk and providing the most amount of value. So, yeah, does that help?
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Awesome. Could be around charging something. What was an issue when you first started?
What, the high ticket?
Mm-hmm. Phil, how are online coaches charging this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't.
I think a good one could be potentially, I'm thinking about going online, and I currently have a bricks and mortar gym. And potentially looking at exactly what we've spoken about today. Or
should gym owners go online? Yeah. I asked that question, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, I'm here with the amazing Luke Turner, semi-private gym owner, who's got a big business problem that he wants me to solve, and I'm going to coach it live in front of the camera. So Luke, quick overview with the business. Where is it? What kind of clients do you coach? What kind of numbers are you coaching? And what's your problem?
So gym is T2 Fit. We run a small group personal trainer model in South London. We work with individuals who want to get fit and healthy and be coached every single time they come in. We are looking potentially at growing into more of the online space, and would love to know your thoughts on a gym owner breaking into that online world.
Okay. The first question that I would ask you is, are the current gyms at capacity, and do you feel that you're charging enough for your services? That's the first question that I would ask, because your number one return is going to be your current business. And I would not look at going into any other business until they are maxed out, making as much profit as possible. And ultimately, you could leave the gym for a week and it would still make money without you. If you cannot do that and the business cannot provide value and make money or make decisions without you, then it's still reliant on you. And you going into a brand new vehicle that you have no experience in, that you're going to have to build from the ground up, is going to actually distract you away from your gym. So I would always ask you to create a series of levers, if you like, to hit before you unlock a new level. And I think one question that gym owners really need to ask themselves, if they look at where they want to go in life and what they want to do, what they want to have in terms of freedom, flexibility, impact, money, you've got to look at your current business and ask yourself, is the current business that I'm in going to give me the life that I want? And that is either going to be a yes or that is going to be a no. It is going to be a yes if that business is set up with a good quality team, with good quality automations and good quality systems, and it doesn't revolve around a lot of your time. That's a very rare scenario for most business owners because they don't have the skills, the thinking, the beliefs to be able to do that. And most people get to a place where they're kind of, it half runs without them, half doesn't, and they stay anchored and tied to that business. And when they actually look at their goals long term of having freedom, flexibility, it doesn't fit. Whereas the online model definitely does fit more because there's more flexibility, less risk, less bricks and mortar, less rates, less rents, less expense. It's a very lucrative option. But the thing that you need to consider is, can I max this gym out? Can I get it making money without me? And should I do that first before I consider online, or should I burn the boats and go all in on online? And that really depends on how far you are on with the build and success of your current gym. Knowing your gym is really successful, you make a lot of money. And the question is could you leave it for 3 months and it would run and grow and make money without you? And if the answer to that is yes, and you've got the time, the space, and the vision for an online platform or extension of your gym, then by all means go for it. But if you cannot leave that gym without it falling apart, then I would focus exclusively on making sure that that gym is rock solid. And then when it's there, reevaluate your options. So just to reiterate, because there's going to be a lot of gym owners that are either fed up with their gym right now and going, I don't want to have a bricks and mortar. I don't want to be tied to rates and rents. I don't want to have this and that. Look at your life vision, what you want for your life, and ask yourself, is the current opportunity vehicle or business that I'm in going to give me the life that I want? And if the answer is no, you got to be willing to start again from zero. And if the answer is yes, then look at strengthening it, but getting it to a level where it runs without you so that you then have the freedom, the cash flow to ultimately go into online and make the most of it, rather than trying to do the online with a gym that can't run without you. That's just going to create distraction and hassle. Because if you're going to do something well, you go all in on it, get it stable, then move to the next thing. Does that make sense?
Phil, we currently have 4 offers in my small group personal training gym. We have a trial, and then we have 3 offers for people to continue with after their 30-day trial. Yep. What would you say is the best way to structure our model? If it's not that, what would be the best way to structure the pricing model? The
big challenge that I have with semi-private gyms is that they've got far too many offers. And when you've got far too many offers, you get confusion. And the reason why they have a lot of offers is typically to get the client to decide on price. Now, let me make something very clear. When you want to get somebody a result, you as the coach will know that the more exposure, the more repetition that they get inside the gym, the more likely they are going to win and get the result. So if I come in and I'm presented with 4 options, a trial, 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, if I don't know what I need, I'm going to choose the cheapest option without knowing that that actually is going to cost me in the long run. I always link it back to the story of being a personal trainer. Whenever somebody came to you and said, I want a personal train with you, how much does it cost? Well, it's X amount per session. And they would then ask the question, how many sessions do you think I need? And you would look at them and you would, inside your head, go, at least like 4. But you know what? I don't want to coach you 4 times a week. I'm going to go with 3. But you know what? I kind of feel like I'm maybe overselling you a wee bit here. I don't want you thinking that I'm just like trying to pitch you as many sessions as possible. So yeah, like maybe 2, 3, and that would be your answer. That was the incorrect way to sell them. Why? Because you knew in your heart, you knew from your experience that in order to coach them properly, they needed the right amount of exposure and sessions, and you knew exactly what they needed. And the reality is you should have created an offer that was like, hey, you need 4 sessions a week. Here's the way we're going to work. We're going to work hard for the first 90 days, do 4 a week. And then after that, we can reevaluate and see where we go. But if you want to get progress fast, you got to go all in on this. And here's the way it's priced. Here's how it works. There's an upfront option, or there's a payment plan where you save a little bit, or it's a little bit more because you're paying over time, or there's an even broader payment option, which is a little bit more. You pick the one that suits you the best, but you're actually selling them the very thing that they need because the deliverables are clear, they're concise, and they're on point. And it makes life easier for you because it's simpler to sell. It's simpler to deliver. Instead of having one client on 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, you're not mumbled and jumbled all over the place. You're clear and you're concise. You can build your systems around that, and you can build your delivery around that. And I think a lot of semi-private gym owners have just fallen into the monkey see, monkey do mindset of everybody's doing a trial and everybody is also offering these multiple options. But the reality is you're commoditizing your service, whereas you should be selling the result and the transformation, not the sessions. And you're letting the client choose on sessions, which is the wrong thing to do, because if they'd solved the problem, they'd know what to do. So you've got to realize that you can really solve your market's problems when you have the certainty to address their uncertainty. And, if your organic marketing is strong enough and clear enough in portraying the message of what you can do for people, it has the right element of messaging that really talks to their heart, their problems. It's got clear social proof that shows examples of the lives that you've changed. And it's also got just a really good quality culture being promoted continuously. People should be pre-sold before they even get there. And they shouldn't even need a trial. They shouldn't even need the options of 2 to 3 or 4. They should know hey, when I come to this place, this is the result that I am going to get. And as a result of that, they should be pre-sold, and the sales conversation is really just an order-taking exercise. They shouldn't need much persuasion. And a lot of semi-private gym owners make the mistake of not putting any effort into their organic marketing, which means that they only relied on paid, which is really high risk, because if the platform goes down, their business goes down, and they haven't built the audience on the organic. Secondly, like I said, they provide way too many options, which is confusing. 3, they do things like low-cost trial, which builds into the mind of the consumer, this is a trial, and you know what, I don't like it. Versus just saying, hey, this is the offer. If you don't like it, you can leave. Just give us notice. Simple as that. And also, when you look into the actual profitability of a trial, the cost to acquire a customer, the cost to put the lights on in your facility, the cost to pay for your team, the cost of all of that digs into what you're charging initially. So if you're a low-cost trial or you're a low-cost back end, chances are you're not making profit until you're 2 or 3 months in. And that puts the business at risk. That is why I am a big proponent of embracing high ticket sales. Online coaches have already proven you guys that they can make a ton of money. That's fact in the fitness industry. They're charging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K and up on 90 days of coaching, which is framed as a foundational get to know your body, get to know you, do the groundwork. It is very transformation focused, but at the same time too, it can really be framed as hey, this is where the bulk of the work's done. And once we get to this result after 90 days, then you're going to want to sustain and maintain. So the back end of that after the 90 days is actually like an insurance policy. I know a lot of semi-private gym owners worry about it feeling very transformational, but it's in the language. It's about framing it as this is a foundation where we get to know you, we get to assess you, we get to build you. And at the end of 90 days, this is what we can guarantee you as a promise. You will drop at least 10 pounds, at least 15 pounds, whatever it is. And then we will continue to work on dropping more if you need to, strengthening, doing whatever else is needed and required in order to get you the body of your dreams. And most importantly, maintain the body of your dreams, because there's home, there's work, and there's gym. People don't just come to the gym for 90 days and expect to stay like that for the rest of their life. That is a continuous daily habit that needs to be built in. And that must be factored in your internal culture, your internal marketing. And so many semi-private owner gym owners are afraid of that 90-day kind of transformation / vibe, or 8-week vibe, or 6 weeks abs, or whatever it's going to call, like online coaches do. But it's so important for setting the scene and going, right, let's go on a sprint, let's get a result. And people prefer a sprint than they do a marathon. So the concept of selling people into long-term monthlies from the outset is like a marathon versus, hey, 90 days, activation period, let's go balls to the wall, let's really drive this transformation. And then after that, we'll reevaluate, see where we're at, and we want to ensure that we continue to get your results for the rest of your life as long as you're a member here. And I do believe that gym owners are massively undercharging. When you look at what online coaches are charging, I mean, there's proof that they can get it. They're also getting clients from exactly the same place. The internet, their sales skills are better. Their marketing is better. And online coaches are carrying a lot of risk with equipment, bricks and mortar, all that kind of stuff. And I just don't think they know their own worth, especially when they get to interact and see the client in person. And I just really wish that they would embrace high ticket sales, because there's evidence of it occurring in the marketplace. We've been working with a ton of semi-private gym owners, which you've seen yourself, that have embraced it, and the profitability is through the roof. They're also taking on less clients, which means less team, less risk, less hassle. They can put more attention and time and quality into the coaching. And ultimately their business is in a far more profitable, stronger position. So my lessons for you are really, really simple. And every other semi-private gym owner watching is simplify your offer into one core offering, create multiple different price points of it so that you can lower the bar, have an upfront, have a split pay, have a payment plan, and have a 12-month upfront option. Really make sure that your organic marketing is super strong so that you manufacture the demand and you pre-sell people before they have a sales conversation. 4, radically increase your prices because you provide way more value, you carry way more risk than online coaches. You just need to develop the belief, the skills, and the sales processes. And number 5 is frame the 90-day transformation or 90-day period for that upfront payment where you're getting paid in advance as an activation period, get to know you basis, and frame the rest of it as an insurance policy to maintain and continue to promote gains for the rest of their lives. And ultimately, really make your gym, your service the best thing it can possibly be and expand clients' future every single day, every single week by making sure your service is the best that it possibly can be, because retention is ultimately what's going to build your MRR. And if you can maximally boost your profits on the front end to liquidate cost of delivery, cost of acquisition, and really make sure your gym is the best possible service out there, you're going to make a ton of money on the front end and you're going to make even more on the back end.